Throughout the world, many countries have recently had to confront violent riots. Such riots have caused all these countries to adopt several methods when confronting violent protesters in order to guarantee the safety of the public. Among these countries are many Western nations that each in its own way uphold the principle of defensive democracy. In Spain, during protests against the ruling government that began in May 2011, there occurred a number of confrontations between security forces and violent protesters. Spanish security forces used rubber bullets and police batons to disperse the protesters. In Greece, in February 2011, within the framework of a general strike, there were violent protests that flared up to the extent that rocks and Molotov cocktails were hurled at security forces. The latter responded by shooting canisters of tear gas at the protesters. In London, in August 2011, police forces confronted violent protests in the borough of Tottenham, during which rioters wreaked havoc, plundered shops, and even set buses and police cars on fire. Police officers confronted the protesters armed with batons and shields. Israel, forced to deal almost weekly with violent riots by Palestinians in Judea and Samaria, uses a series of riot dispersal methods which change in proportion to the escalation of violence. These methods change in accordance with the escalation of violence and range from spraying water at the rioters to the use of beanbags. These violent protests, which like many others endanger human lives, are absolutely illegal. Protests are legitimate and are warmly embraced by democratic countries, as long as they remain non-violent.